Many blessings to you and your family. So in case you didn't know, the fight for parental rights is still happening in California, especially since Governor Gavin Newsom signed Bill AB 1955, therefore stopping school districts from notifying parents if their child starts identifying as a different gender at school. Well, these parents at Huntington, with the support of their mayor, are not having it.
Good evening. Let's be clear. AB 1955, also known as the TRAP Bill, takes rights away from parents actively as it's being implemented against the Constitution. These parents have the right to dictate all aspects of their child's education and life. Let's also be clear. The far left and the LGBT community has failed. They have failed. We have our youth dying in an uproar of suicide, and they want to think that they have the right to dictate how these child's lives will go. You have failed the entire time you've had the torch. We have been listening to the Democrats and the LGBT community for decades. Now it is the parents' job to come in and save their own children. It is the parents' job to come in and dictate their lives. Chino Valley, Temecula Valley, Orange Unified, and the state of Florida all implemented policies to notify parents of what happens with their child under the delegated duty of a school district. How many transgender youth have killed themselves due to the notification of parents? None. But let's be clear. Under the care of the Democrats and the LGBT community, it has been skyrocketing because of the dictation that they do in these meetings. Go into our legislation and acting as if they know what they need. These are their parents' kids, not yours. I commend what you're doing. It is amazing work. A checks and balances between a school district and a city should happen. And building that bridge and changing the world with this type of legislation is amazing. It's innovative. Great work. Oh, one more thing, just because I feel like we need it. Christ is King.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Marissa Jacksel, and I wanted to voice my support for the mayor's proposal to make our city a parents' right to know city. This is not about being partial. This is about protecting our children. And once the state intervenes and thinks they know how to raise our children better than us parents do, that's when the mama bears come out. So I'm here to speak up for our children, for our parents, and for our families. My friend, who is a teacher in Anaheim, she's a kindergarten teacher. She was walking down the hallway with her class, and another teacher with her class walked down the hallway to the bathroom, and that teacher bent over and said, "Are you a girl or a boy?" Do you want our children, little kindergartners, being asked that question? Are we trying to confuse our children? The schools are trying to confuse our children. If we aren't paying attention, parents, you need to get involved. Request records and curriculum for your schools so you know what is being taught. This is your constitutional right as parents, and it is your God-given right. Dan, I have a question. You said it's the parents who should decide what books their children should read. Shouldn't it be the parents who decide if they don't want their children taught sexualization curriculum to their children? It is our responsibility as law-abiding citizens, parents, civic leaders, to all protect our children. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello. I support Mayor Vandermark's agenda item to declare Huntington Beach a parents' right to know city. Shh, don't tell the parents is what they're saying. And whether you know it or not, you're following socialist teacher Saul Alinsky's ideas, increasing insecurity, anxiety, and uncertainty. Destroy the family, he says. You are not protecting the children and parents that way. When these children are taken from their parents, it's traumatic for the teen, especially because the parent wants to protect and advise. If you cared, you would change this garbage in your schools. Because of this, our kids have become insecure, anxious, and uncertain. Just like that photo of Yaeli Martinez from an LA school district. She was encouraged to be who she wanted to be by a counselor of the school. When her mom tried to help her to continue being a girl as she was born, the government took her away from her mom. She started to become depressed. Did the state or school try to help? No. But her mom tried, but they took precious Yaeli away from her. She died. Yes, she committed suicide. And if Huntington Beach allows us to go on their schools, shh, it's a secret. Don't tell your parents. Then I say you're abiding by the socialist agenda by destroying the family, brainwashing, coaching, and threatening to take the kids away from the parents who want to protect their children. We pay you to teach them properly, not to indoctrinate them. And because taking them away from us is not good. If you're going to continue to allow this to happen in our schools so others could end up like Aliela Martinez, we have something to say. We're going against the 14th Amendment. You are going against the 14th Amendment. If you don't protect the rights of the parents and stop indoctrinating the children, then the next suicide that occurs in one of our schools because of indoctrination, these parents and I will know that there is blood to account.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members and everyone in attendance. My name is Jignesh Padyar, a lifelong resident of Huntington Beach. Recently, I got married, and what comes with that is the next step of kind of creating your own family. And my wife and I, we began speaking, and we were thinking of what is the purpose of creating life if that child is just going to become a ward of the state? I mean, there is no intention to even prolonging life if we're just going to be handing them off to the government. You laugh about it, but your ideology doesn't even produce children. You want to indoctrinate our own. Okay? And the problem is it's coming from the state. You're going to say what our mayor is trying to do is just a stunt, and it has no real teeth to it. I don't know if you realize, but back in, I think, April, Measure A passed. We want voter IDs. What does Sacramento do? Ted Wood goes ahead and immediately passes legislation to override our votes in this city. We voted for that. So what our mayor is doing is protecting our children, regardless of what the superpowers of Sacramento want to happen. It is not their responsibility to dictate what we should be thinking what is right and wrong. And the problem starts with Title I funding. It's basically converted schools to basically glorified health centers. They're turning these children into mental asylums. They're causing them issues. They're kids. They don't know any better between left and right and up and down. And you're telling them that their genitalia is wrong and they're born in the wrong body. How evil of a thought that must be in your head. And, just to put more hypocrisy on the story, you're over here talking about transparency with the air show. Why don't you give transparency to the teachers and the parents? I mean, where is the hypocrisy? Seriously. At the end of the day, that's not too bad. One last thing, there is a Supreme Court case coming in right now with Torres Sephora Mars and Mayfield City Court. It's going to be distributed to a conference for the Supreme Court September 30th. The fight for parental rights isn't over, it's just beginning.
I wanted to come here and support Mayor Gracie Vanderbark in your ordinance against AB 1955. God gave children parents for a reason. And in the 10 Commandments, it says, honor thy mother and father. It doesn't say honor Gavin Newsom and teachers. I also wanted to say, the young gentleman that was up here earlier who said, hey, listen, it's none of your business. You're right. It's none of the teacher's business, and neither is it the governor's business, and neither is it the government business, period. It's the parent's business, the relationship between the child, which brings me to the next point. I am so happy about the individual that was up here that was very proud to announce that they were a transgender, and that they were so proud that they had parents that understood. Now, just think if Gavin Newsom took away that parental right, then what would happen? We don't want any more CRT in our schools. Our kids need to get back to learning. They don't need to know how to have sex with who and why and whatever at such a young age. They need to know how to read. They need to know how to write. And our Black and brown communities are not getting that, and you know it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, go ahead.
Hello, Board, Mayor. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Manu Grigorian. I'm a father of 4 beautiful twin daughters. I migrated from Soviet Union, in 1987. I'm a refugee from Soviet Union. Gentleman told me I look too young to be from Soviet Union, so thank you. Yeah, and to call me fascist, I'm a commie. straight, okay? Excuse for my language. Second of all, I am very disgusted by these oppositions here today. They are no manner. We had a young man under the age of 18 probably, speaking here today. Instead of acting like a grown-ups, a young man came to a grown-up meeting. What did we do? Act like fools, like they are acting right now. I want to thank you, Mayor, for adopting this resolution. Parents must know. Keeping secrets from parents is not the way. This is not an honoring process. If my child, a daughter, goes to school and says, I identify as a bully, I decide to crush everybody's head today, is the school going to notify me, or are they going to allow this child to be a bully? Because if they notify me, then you're breaking the law. But how are you not going to notify me my child is being a bully? This goes with everything. Whatever my children go through in school, please just know, I trust you with 7 hours of my children's life to you guys. If you're going to keep secrets, why am I trusting you? Like, seriously, think about it. When I take my children to my brother's house, I ask them, what did they do? Did they eat? Did they sleep? Did they do their homework? Did they play on the computer? Did they eat chocolate? What did my children do? Were they mannerful? They tell me everything, and I work with my children. They tell us, hey, your children will come out to you if you were great parents. I was a child. I kept everything secret from my parents.
Thank you.
You know.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Your time is up.
Thank you. Time's up. Time's up.
Your time is up, sir. Next speaker, go ahead. Okay, just a second. We have a speaker waiting to speak. Go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening. I'm here in support of the Parents' Right to Know. Parents' Right to Know and parental notification policies are not forced outing policies. Gender dysphoria is classified in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders.
Please stop. Pause our time. Go ahead, ma'am. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Gender dysphoria is in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, the same as suicidal ideation. But kids don't always tell their parents if they are suffering in that kind of way. The parents in here that claim that you only have a good relationship with your kids if they're willing to tell you something, well, that's a shame, because there are lots of parents who have no idea or didn't see the signs that their kids would have committed suicide, but they did. Also within that manual is anxiety and depression and many other mental health disorders that if a school board or a school district or a teacher staff were to find out, they would tell you. The only thing that a school or the state doesn't want you to know is if your child is suffering from gender dysphoria. So that's our biggest question, is why is that? Well, at $1 million a child and lifelong medicalization of children, it's always follow the money. The parents in here who may have, or anywhere who may have a child that has gender dysphoria or is gender confused and is going through something like that, they would never, ever want their child to go through that alone. The rest of us parents don't get to be vilified from the very beginning, innocent until proven guilty. We have the right to know what is happening with our kids. We have the right to know if this gender dysphoria that is accompanied a lot of the times by anxiety and depression.
Thank you.
Thank you.